In a parallel universe, there's a version of you that made different choices. They said yes when you said no. They took risks when you played it safe. They believed in themselves when you believed in your limitations. And right now, that version of you is living the life you dream about. They have the success you want, the confidence you crave, the impact you desire. The only difference between you and them, one decision, one moment of courage, one choice to stop being a spectator in your own life. That parallel universe isn't fantasy, it's your unlived reality. Right now, at this very moment, you are sitting at the crossroads of two lives. One life is the life you've been living, comfortable, predictable, safe. The other life is the life that's calling you, uncertain, challenging, but absolutely extraordinary. And here's what most people don't understand. You cannot live both lives simultaneously. You must choose. I want you to imagine for a moment that you're holding two photographs. In the first photograph, you see yourself 5 years from now, having continued exactly as you are today. Same habits, same excuses, same limitations, same fears. Look closely at that image. What do you see? Is that person fulfilled? Are they living with passion, purpose, and power? Or are they simply existing, going through the motions, wondering where the time went? Now look at the second photograph. This one shows you 5 years from now. But this version of you made a decision today. This version chose growth over comfort, action over excuses, possibility over limitation. This person is unrecognizable from who you are right now because they understood something profound. Transformation doesn't happen gradually. It happens in moments of decision. The question that will haunt you for the rest of your life is this: which photograph will become your reality? Because make no mistake, one of them will. Time doesn't pause for indecision. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. The universe doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to your choices and your actions. You see, every single person watching this carries within them something extraordinary. I'm not talking about talent. Talent is common. I'm not talking about intelligence. Intelligence is everywhere. I'm talking about potential. And potential is the most powerful force in the universe because it represents what could be, not what is. But here's the tragedy of human existence. Most people will die with their potential still locked inside them. They'll take their dreams to the grave. They'll carry their gifts unused, their talents undeveloped, their possibilities unexplored. They'll spend their entire lives as a rough diamond, never knowing they could have been a brilliant gem. Why does this happen? Because potential feels safe when it's unrealized. It's comfortable to dream about what you could become because dreams can't fail. Only actions can fail. But here's what they don't tell you. The only real failure is the failure to try. The only true tragedy is living below your capacity. And I want you to understand something profound. You were not created to be ordinary. Ordinary is not your default setting. Mediocrity is not your natural state. You were designed for greatness, engineered for excellence, programmed for extraordinary achievement. But somewhere along the way, you were convinced that you should settle for less. You were taught to color inside the lines, to follow the rules, to play it safe. Let me tell you about a man who refused to accept ordinary. His name was Colonel Sanders. And at the age of 65, when most people are thinking about retirement, he was broke and living on Social Security. But he had a recipe for fried chicken that he believed was extraordinary. He could have accepted his circumstances. He could have said, I'm too old, it's too late, I don't have the resources. But instead he got in his car and drove to restaurants trying to sell his recipe. He was rejected 1,009 times before someone finally said yes. Today, that recipe feeds millions of people around the world through KFC. The difference between Colonel Sanders and everyone else wasn't talent or luck. It was his refusal to let his potential die with his excuses. Your potential is not determined by your age, your background, your education, or your current circumstances. Your potential is determined by your willingness to unlock it. And the key to unlocking potential is understanding that it requires pressure. Diamonds are created under pressure. Champions are forged under pressure. Greatness emerges under pressure. But potential without purpose is like a Ferrari without a destination. Impressive, but ultimately meaningless. You can have all the capability in the world, but if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up nowhere. Purpose is not what you do for a living. Purpose is not your job title or your career. Purpose is the reason you exist. It's the unique contribution you were designed to make to this world. It's the problem you were born to solve, the need you were created to meet, the difference you were destined to make. Here's what I've discovered after studying thousands of successful people. Every single person who has made a significant impact on this world understood their purpose. They didn't just stumble into greatness, they were pulled toward it by a sense of destiny and knowing that they were created for something specific. When you discover your purpose, everything changes. Confusion disappears because you have clarity. Fear diminishes because you have focus. Obstacles become opportunities because you have a compelling reason to overcome them. Purpose doesn't eliminate problems. It gives you the power to persist through them. I want you to ask yourself this question. If money were no object, if failure were impossible, if you had unlimited resources and guaranteed success, what would you do with your life? What problem would you solve? What contribution would you make? What legacy would you leave? The answer to that question is pointing you toward your purpose. But here's the challenge. Most people never ask that question because they're afraid of the answer. They're afraid because they know that discovering their purpose will require them to change. It will demand that they step out of their comfort zone, that they take risks, that they become someone they've never been before. Let me tell you about a woman who understood this principle. Her name was Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in poverty, faced abuse, and had every reason to accept a limited life. But she discovered that her purpose was to inspire and empower others through storytelling and authentic connection. She didn't let her circumstances define her destiny. She used her pain as her platform, her mess as her message. Today, she's not just successful, she's significant. She's not just wealthy, she's influential. She didn't just build a career, she built a legacy. Your purpose is not hidden from you, it's hidden within you. It's connected to your passions, your experiences, your natural abilities, and your deepest convictions. It's found at the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be compensated for. Now let me share with you the most important truth about achievement. Success is not about what happens to you, it's about what happens in you. The difference between champions and everyone else is not their circumstances, it's their psychology. It's the way they think, the way they process information, the way they respond to challenges. Champions understand that their mind is their most powerful tool or their most dangerous weapon. They know that thoughts become things, that beliefs become behaviors, that attitudes determine altitude. They've learned to master their inner world so they can conquer their outer world. The average person wakes up and asks, what's going to happen to me today? The champion wakes up and declares, what am I going to make happen today? Do you see the difference? One is reactive, the other is proactive. One is a victim of circumstances. Champions have developed what I call solution consciousness. While others see problems, they see opportunities. While others see obstacles, they see stepping stones. While others see reasons why something can be done, they see ways to make it happen. This isn't positive thinking. This is powerful thinking. Let me tell you about a man who embodied this principle. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times while trying to invent the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's champion psychology. He didn't see failure, he saw feedback. He didn't see setbacks, he saw setups for comeback. But champion psychology goes deeper than positive thinking. Champions understand that they are not their circumstances, they are their choices. They don't allow external conditions to determine their internal condition. They've learned to be thermostats, not thermometers. A thermometer reflects the temperature of its environment. Here's what separates champions from everyone else. They've learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. They understand that growth and comfort cannot coexist. They know that everything they want is on the other side of their comfort zone. So while others avoid discomfort, champions embrace it. While others run from challenges, champions run toward them. The champion's mind is programmed with empowering beliefs. I can learn anything I need to learn. I can become anyone I need to become. I can do anything I set my mind to do. I am resourceful. I am resilient. I am relentless. These aren't just words. These are the operating system of excellence. But understanding champion psychology is just the beginning. Knowledge without application is worthless. Information without implementation is meaningless. You must be willing to enter the process of transformation. And I want to warn you, this process is not comfortable. Transformation is like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. It's messy, it's painful, it's uncertain. The caterpillar must literally dissolve before it can become a butterfly. There's a period where it's neither what it was nor what it's becoming. This is the most vulnerable time, the most frightening time. You are about to enter your cocoon phase. You're about to leave behind the familiar version of yourself to become someone you've never been before. This requires courage. Not the absence of fear, but action in the presence of fear. Courage is not feeling brave. Courage is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel brave. The first stage of transformation is disruption. Something must disturb your current reality. It might be dissatisfaction, frustration, or a deep knowing that you're capable of more. This disruption is not your enemy. It's your invitation to evolve. It's life's way of saying, you've outgrown this version of yourself. It's time to level up. The second stage is decision. You must make a definitive choice to change. Not a wish, not a hope, not a Sunday intention. A decision. A decision cuts off all other possibilities. It burns the bridges to your old life. It commits you to a new path, even when you can't see the entire journey. The third stage is discipline. This is where most people fail. They make the decision, but they don't develop the discipline to sustain it. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has left you. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline is the price of freedom. Let me tell you about a man who understood this process. His name was Jim Carrey. Before he became one of the world's most famous comedians, he was so poor that his family lived in a van. But he had a vision of his future self. He wrote himself a check for $10 million, 0 cents for acting services rendered, and dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. He carried that check in his wallet for years, visualizing his success, working toward his goal with relentless discipline. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, he received $10 million, 0 cents, for his role in Dumb and Dumber. The check became reality because he combined vision with action, dreams with discipline. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit. You are what you repeatedly do. Your life is not shaped by your intentions, it's shaped by your actions. And your actions are shaped by your daily practices. Champions understand that how you do anything is how you do everything. If you're sloppy in small things, you'll be sloppy in big things. If you're excellent in small things, you'll be excellent in big things. Excellence is a standard, not a goal. It's a way of being, not a destination. The practice of excellence requires you to become obsessed with getting better. Not perfect, better. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Excellence is about continuous improvement, constant growth, relentless refinement. It's about being better today than you were yesterday and being better tomorrow than you are today. I want you to understand something profound. Small improvements compound into extraordinary results. If you get just 1% better every day for a year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of that year. That's the power of compound improvement. That's the mathematics of excellence. But excellence requires sacrifice. You cannot have everything you want and still achieve everything you're capable of. You must choose what you're willing to give up to get what you really want. You must say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great opportunities. You must eliminate the non-essential so you can excel at the essential. Excellence also requires standards. You must decide what you will accept from yourself and what you won't accept. You must establish non-negotiable minimums for your performance, your behavior, your results. When you have high standards, you attract high-squeed opportunities, high-caliber people, and high-level results. Let me tell you about a woman who embodied this principle. Her name was Serena Williams. She didn't become the greatest tennis player of all time by accident. She practiced when she didn't feel like it. She trained when others were relaxing. She maintained her standards when others lowered theirs. She understood that excellence is not a sometimes thing, it's an always thing. Everything in your life right now is the result of a decision you made or a decision you failed to make. Your relationships, your health, your finances, your career, your happiness, all of it traces back to decisions. And here's what most people don't understand. Not making a decision is still making a decision. You're deciding to let circumstances decide for you. The power of decision is the power to change your life in an instant. One decision can alter the trajectory of your entire existence. One choice can transform you from who you are to who you're meant to be. One commitment can shift you from a life of mediocrity to a life of magnificence. But most people are afraid to make decisions because they're afraid of making the wrong decision. Let me tell you something. The wrong decision is better than no decision. You can correct a wrong decision, but you cannot correct indecision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity, the enemy of progress, the graveyard of dreams. Right now, as you're listening to these words, you have a decision to make. You can choose to continue living the way you've been living, or you can choose to become the person you were created to be. You can choose comfort, or you can choose growth. You can choose excuses, or you can choose excellence. You can choose to remain the same, or you can choose to change everything. This decision cannot be made tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lie that weak people tell themselves to avoid the discomfort of today. Tomorrow never comes because when tomorrow arrives, it's today again. The only moment you have is this moment. The only time you can change is right now. I want you to make a decision right now. Decide that you will no longer accept mediocrity. Decide that you will no longer make excuses. Decide that you will no longer live below your potential. Decide that you will become the person you were created to be. Do the work you were designed to do. And live the life you were destined to live. You see, this isn't just a motivational speech. This is your wake-up call. This is your invitation to step into your greatness. This is your opportunity to stop existing and start living. This is your moment to transform from who you are to who you were meant to be. The person you were when you started listening to this message is not the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. That person got you here, but they can't take you there. You must evolve. You must grow. You must become. I want you to understand something. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not insignificant. You were created with a purpose, designed with a destiny, equipped with everything you need to succeed. But potential means nothing if it's never activated. Gifts mean nothing if they're never unwrapped. Dreams mean nothing if they're never pursued. The world needs what you have to offer. There are people waiting for your contribution. There are problems that only you can solve. There are opportunities that only you can seize. But they're all waiting on the other side of your decision to change. Right now, I want you to close your eyes and see yourself 1 year from today. See the person you've become. See the life you've created. See the impact you've made. See the dreams you've achieved. That person is not a fantasy. That person is your destiny. But you must decide to become that person today. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your opportunity is present. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for fear to leave. Fear never leaves. You just learn to act in spite of it. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. It's living without ever truly being alive. It's going to your grave with your music still in you. It's dying with your dreams unrealized, your potential untapped, your purpose unfulfilled. But that's not going to be your story. Because today, right now, you're making a different choice. You're choosing to awaken. You're choosing to arise. You're choosing to become who you were created to be. The old you ends here. The new you begins now. This is your moment of transformation. This is your time of awakening. This is your season of becoming. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to your greatness. Welcome to your destiny. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is, will you do it? Your future is waiting. Your destiny is calling. Your time is now. What are you going to do about it?